It's Theme Park Thursday Live with Dillo's Dudes. Featuring Frank. And Jen.
This is Theme Park Thursday with Dillo's Diz. She is Jen.
Hello.
And I am Frank, and we are here at DillosDizResort.com. Earlier this year, in January, we were talking about how the first time we did home movies, like home video, was in January 1988. So we did like a watch along for about 30 minutes or so of the January 1988 video. And we talked over it a little bit, and then we shared that video on YouTube. Our YouTube channel, of course, is youtube.com/DillosDiz. Like or sub mostly. Look, just go ahead and sub. We're paying attention to it again, so go ahead and subscribe. But, August, the month of, we always get the Disney itch because we did so many family vacations, the week long usually, during the month of August. So I thought it would be maybe a little fun if we pull up this 30th anniversary edition of our August 1993 trip. We'll start here. I mean, but right out of the gate, we got a still shot. I got it on pause. It's the Centurium at Epcot over in the Communicore area. This is probably right before it closed down and Innovations building started, and I just blanked on what was in the store between Centurium and now.
Mouse Gear.
Mouse Gear. Thank you very much. Gone, but apparently forgotten as well. But I love the Centurium name, especially since we got the Community Core here, the Community Core meetup, September 7th through 9th. But Centurium is always right. Play.
This was 1993, you said, just to confirm the year.
It's August of 1993. And now it just paused on its own. There we go.
A little glitchy. All right. Here we go.
Breezeway there. Oh, Horizons.
Oh, Horizons, how I miss you. Oh, cut. Just that.
So can you hear it okay, or is there no sound? That's
no
the
sound.
Question. No sound. That's right. That happened last time as well. So now that I'm recalling, but we do have Spaceship Earth in all its glory there. And
so much shrubbery,
Hey,
there I am.
The mural of the Spaceship Earth. When I went back and checked, like what was in this portion of the video, this is still Walter Cronkite doing the narration at this point. So there's also, maybe a year and a half, 2 years before Jeremy Irons took over. A lot of clearly throwing it to Jen for some commentary based on the video at this point. Yeah. Are we going to get the whole ride through of Spaceship Earth?
I was just going to ask, did you clear this whole 30 minutes is it 20 of it Spaceship Earth in the dark? It's on a 1993 VHS.
4 eons, man. Lewis. Here you've seen this video. You've been on the ride. It hasn't changed that much. We'll see if we can point out. Yeah, here's of course, I videoed the theater scene, which has since changed.
Yes.
This is the theater is born.
When do you think you fully took over the recording duties on our trips?
Probably the summer after I graduated high school. So probably 92, just because we had a new video camera. So I once I got we probably split duties, Papadillo and I, with the over the shoulder. Carry the VCR with you wherever you go portion. But then we had a handheld starting in 92. There's a Sistine ceiling. Clearly, you're seeing my greatest hits. What I love best about Spaceship Earth. Behold the majesty of the Sistine ceiling.
an excellent question. Jeffers is a paperboy in this one.
Oh, I think I saw the Paperboy one. I think that's part of why I started with this section. So we should be seeing the Paperboy here.
All right.
Moment. Extra, extra, New York Daily. As opposed to what he does now, Jen.
Hey, get your paper, right? Paper. Get your paper. I think, and then I feel like Papa Dillo would do the Jen for me to do extra, extra New York Daily, even while on the ride. Like, we're hearing it. We're hearing it. We're here now.
The 7-year-old was asking me how much money I made when I was a paperboy.
Oh, how much was that?
So when all was said and done, I think I had $30-something to my name, which was then split in thirds. We'll get to that another time.
Did you get into that with the 7-year-old?
No, there he is. There's the paperboy.
Oh, there he is.
Look how
Oh, look, the hand's out. So we are saying something here. The hand went out to show.
We're like, there's our guy. That's the paperboy. We love him. Extra, extra, New York Daily.
Louis, do you not see any differences with the paperboy? Or are you delayed and I'm missing it because the paperboy is faceless now?
Yeah.
Hey, get your paper.
Turned him around. Yeah. Hey, get your paper. Look at that. I don't think they show Star Wars in Spaceship Earth now. They own Star Wars. It's like we don't have to show it on Spaceship Earth anymore. Who knew they showed the opening scene of Star Wars? That was weird.
Yeah, that's not a thing anymore.
They got Ozzy and Harriet in here still. I don't know what else are they showing. They got I think they got Super Bowl III. I don't know if it's Super Bowl III or Super Bowl I on there. And then coming out to the top of the dome. And I don't know at this point whether it was Tomorrow's Child or not. Still at this point, Tomorrow's Child.
You can't hear the video on your end.
I cannot hear it. Last time I could hear it, but let me see if I did something to prevent that from happening.
Your ride vehicle turned around.
Yeah.
That Tomorrow's Child song, man. I mean, if that doesn't give you the Disney feels, I don't know what does.
Yeah, if you had to rank Epcot songs.
Oh God, don't make me rank things.
Tomorrow's Child.
Yes.
One Little Spark. It's Fun to Be Free.
It's fun to be free.
And if you can dream it, because Heist loves that. He likes to play. If you can dream it, then we can do it. Yes, we can.
I'm sorry, Heist. That's going to be last. One Little Spark, I think, is going to be second, which I feel like is wrong to say. But I do feel like that Tomorrow's Child song, that hits me when I hear that. That is like pure just nostalgia. And everything about being a child in Disney. And then the It's Fun to Be Free will be in number 3.
And look, Hoop-de-Doo coming up here. Hoop-de-Doo
Jeffers
musical review.
This is for you, Jeffers.
The performer in yellow is I think now that I'm thinking about it, it's probably not we probably saw this once before, but she I think was in the show for a long time during our youth. So she is who is most memorable of the 6 characters to me, because I think we saw multiple times.
Yes, I would agree. And I feel like between her and, we feel the same way about certain Streetmosphere as well, that there are just people that we would see every time we went, and it was very consistent.
Yeah, and it's wild that we have had multiple Citizens of Hollywood / Streetmosphere performers on the podcast at this point. But there's also, when I see sometimes old photos people post of like group shots of Citizens of Hollywood, and to realize like how many people I have performed with, or I just know, and I'm like, how did I get to know all these people for real? It's really, really wild and cool. But
it's crazy.
This isn't going to make us want to see Hoop-de-Doo, is it? I know Jeffers is ready here. Jeffers is ready for that early Hoop-de-Doo show on Thursday, September 7th.
However, he will be going on his own trip in like 2 weeks.
Oh,
and
is
we'll be seeing Hoop-de-Doo. And apparently he'll be on a theme park Thursday.
Oh, Jeffers. That's good.
Jeffers, you might have to take over the Dillos Diz Instagram stories to be like, here I am live at Hoop-de-Doo.
It's true.
Mhm.
You think Jeffers is ready for that?
Jeffers, you want to do it?
Hoop-de-doo correspondent Jeffers live on
The
the scene.
official hoop-de-doo correspondent.
Jeffers, what is the? I mean, are you going in 2 weeks? So that's the same week that we should have been on the cruise. Is that?
Yeah,
how
I
that lines
think
up?
I feel like we were leaving for the cruise when he comes in. I think there was like that same day or maybe we're a day off. I don't know.
Well,
He's in.
Jeffers says he's in. So
All right.
we're
All
gonna.
right.
It took us
We'll discuss
3
that.
years to change the password when Steffers took it over one time. We were
I
like,
think
"What is the password?"
I think
Oh,
it
we can't.
still has to do with steppers. That's password. Oh, some tree atmosphere.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, great movie ride.
Hey, the heat's on, see, and this fancy car's my ticket out of here.
Oh, man. So
I
good.
said, get out of here.
Fun fact. Dillos were not happy if we had the cowboy on Great Movie Ride. Now, I'm sure all the cowboy actors were great. And, I'm sure some people enjoyed that storyline, and that's cool. The Dillos, when we were put on that first car, we were like, oh, man, is this Alien?
Yeah.
Fun fact, Jen's most hated scene in this ride.
Yeah.
For years, I wouldn't look. For years.
This is Alien. You are with Sigourney Weaver. Terrifying creatures await. Remain in your vehicles.
I was like, tell me when it's over. Tell me when we're out. And that was the same steam in there was similar to the one used in Dreamflight when you go on the, like it's had that same smell.
Yeah.
There it is. That smoke right there. I can smell it. That
musty smell.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is a heck of a trip report we're providing right here. And it's funny how I love every time I go on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway now.
Mm-hmm.
Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I love like pulling up like what the map of the rooms looks like compared to what the maps of the rooms of the Great Movie Ride were. But I'm always like, oh yeah, this was kind of the longest section because of like how you're moving through that portion of the building.
Yeah. I'm fully turned around in there. I cannot understand where I am.
Well, and I think especially when you end up in the picnic scene at the end, you're like, how did I end up in the finale? Right? Like, it's like, I think you kind of like go into where Wizard of Oz was and then back towards where Casablanca was before you exit. It's like a weird move there if you follow the maps along. But the mobster, and when he's an alien, what is this? Where am I? New Jersey?
Always. And we would know. We would know if they hit it right. We would wait for this line. Because here's the thing, and I understand cast members, sometimes they've been doing it a long time. Maybe they're just not as into it anymore. Maybe they've had a long day. And they'd be like, where am I, New Jersey? And we'd be like, come on. Spell it. You didn't hit it right. Jeffers had mentioned that Jen can smell 30-year-old smoke. Facts, Jeffers. And that's going to be a t-shirt coming soon to T-Public.
Halt, unbeliever. Disturb the treasure of the gods. Oh, right into the Muppets.
What?
It's a little citizen. We'll wrap it up here, I think, because a little Citizens of Hollywood water check. And Joe Wesson, who we have had on the podcast twice here as Frederick in the hard helmet there, who just pulled up the overalls on one of the two other Publix workers. I know Joe is Frederick. I know the one who's back to us right now is his character name was Elmo. I don't know who the third one's character name was, and I don't know the two actors' names who played those two. Yeah, but
a future cast member though was the renowned Ali Flores.
Ali Flores, and we've had Tony Lopez on, who also played the crew chief for many years. Can play Gus. So I think talked about the water check and what went into the water check on one of those two episodes. We'll have to bring that back at some point. I still want to do the Dillos Diz Museum where we post the greatest hits interviews and whatnot on a separate podcast feed. That's on my thing to do list for the Dilloversary.
Right. I want to do the actual Dillos Museum. So
that's right. Same. So a little bit of the water check bit here, and which was always do the water check, and they got to say one at a time, water check, water check, water check, and they screw it up for 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think you got to post this as a talk.
As a talk.
Mm-hmm.
An upcoming talk.
Hashtag Disney talk. Hashtag. Yeah. I mean, it looks like but I feel like there's not much left in the video. Should we just? I know you want to end it here, but now I'm curious as to. We can always edit a little bit. Right?
We owe it to the guests of Dillo's Diz Resort to see a little bit more. Lewis poses a great question here that might take us through the rest of this this podcast. Is I wonder if cast members are now or will be this excited / nostalgic for their time at Disney years later. And I think it all depends on what your experience was. And I think, I mentioned the Facebook group I'm still in with my department from years ago. And here they are celebrating the water check, and you could tell at everyone's time there of who is in the group. It remembers it memorably and fondly and lovingly. And, as if it was the best of times. And a lot of it was, especially if you look back. And again, I'm going to reference whatever I'm working on here with the improviser's guide. But, I've always had really great experiences. And I was talking to Miss Dillo about this. It was like, I was lucky to go to the 3 different schools post high school that I really enjoyed being at, even when the things didn't seem the best or there was drama. Like, I don't look on that badly on those times, even though I know it wasn't always the best. I've always been employed at places I really enjoyed working at, even if I knew it didn't pan out the right way. And, I think a lot of that has to do with how I've been, how I was trained in improv all those years, and Ms. Dillo was like, were you really, really happy during it? And I was like, listen, in the moment, did I know? But when you look at it as a whole, of course, like it was great. And, the first 18 months that I was employed as a cast member were fantastic. But things then started getting really good at school. So they weren't as good at Disney. Yeah. And, that just was this, that was the consequence of what was going on at school. Things were going really well at school. So of course not. Like, I always sit there and sometimes remember, and I actually went out with Ali Flores more than 2 years ago. It's probably 4 years ago, with another friend of mine from UCF. And the two of them were really responsible for me staying at school because I had been offered in the spring a full-time job at Disney. They liked me. They liked the work I was doing. They wanted me to be more, present in the department. And they were like full time. And I was like, well, I got the rest of the semester. And they're like, after the semester, figure it out. And I was like, in my head, I'm going, oh, 1 more year of school. I think, but I wasn't happy at school at that time. It just wasn't, the chips weren't falling the right way, but things were really good at Disney. So what did I want to do? And Ali and this other friend, were really instrumental in me realizing, no, I should stay at school. It wasn't like I was having conversations going like, oh, what should I do? But their friendship was enough for me to know that, like, no, I got to finish school. So that decision then to not go full time at Disney, then things started falling a different way for me at Disney. And, and yes, the full time people were going to get the good gigs, and the part time people who were me were not. And I understood that concept, but I was not happy about it. But that doesn't take away from the work I was doing or the kids that were there or, and visited the characters and all that, like, in the overall. Yeah. Well, could have been better for Frank. Sure. But it didn't take away from the experience because the good outweighed the, oh, I wish it could have been this.
Yeah.
That was a monologue. Sorry.
I would agree with you that I think you can probably see more of the negative, let's say, than you will see of the positive. I know that when I was there, as a 22, 23-year-old, that looking back, it's like, man, that was like the best gig ever. But in the day-to-day, was I totally annoyed by things? Absolutely. But I also got to go to Epcot for work every day. Like, what? That's amazing.
Yeah.
And the people I met were awesome, and the people I worked with were awesome. And then even getting to know the Disney cast members, since I was an operating participant, that working in Innovention. So the Disney cast members that would work 1 or 2 exhibits over, there were people there that had been there for 20 years. There had been married couples who, their kids now are starting to work at Disney, and this was their family. This is how they lived their lives. They were full-time cast members, or a full-time and a part-time, or whatever it was. And I think it's a certain type of person, it's a certain type of family, it's a certain type of it's what you bring to it. And I think if you love Disney enough, you are going in there every day like, I can't believe this is my life. And you can look back on it fondly. It doesn't mean that there weren't those times, because you have that at every job. But I think when you really think about it, it's like, oh man, that was pretty good. But I do think, the squeaky wheels you'll always hear them more.
Some fun things in this video really quick of
Yeah.
Johnny Carson's desk and the couches. I think 1 year removed from his final episode of The Tonight Show. Now we're moving into Aladdin's Royal Caravan from a distance.
Where was that located?
I think that was near at the end of the backstage studio tour.
Okay,
I think it was either, was it there? I'm trying to think now. Well, that's a great question. That's where my instinct says it was, but in the back areas there. But maybe it could have been a walkthrough in the sound stages or something. I don't know. But I do know how this video is going to end now, because that Johnny Carson desk did prompt me to realize how this ends. So I know how things will wrap up here, as we'll have some fun video here following Aladdin's Royal Caravan.
Interesting.
Yeah. That's right. Dr. Val supports the statement. The backlot tour, you would walk through a museum after the attraction. Yeah, and that was cool to see. I mean, again, if you know us and you listen to the podcast, we love our talk shows. So this is that was definitely cool at the time here. And for all the time that I worked with the Genie, I was always a little bummed that I joined the company just after the closing of Aladdin's Royal Caravan as it moved towards the Toy Story parade. Obviously, it still worked out for me in the parade end there, but and I don't know. I watched that Genie move, and I'm like, whoo, I don't know if I was ready for that. It would have been a great audition for sure. I've had some doozy of Disney auditions over the years. That's probably a whole episode.
Oh, big moment here.
Yeah, here we go. We're gonna close it out here with Ed McMahon on the convertible greeting, going up Hollywood Boulevard with the Star Search tour bus, passing the crossroads of the world right here. Filming the season of Star Search. Is that the season Brittany was on? It must have been, right?
Oh, probably.
Right? She was on. Wasn't she on?
Is that? Yeah. Oh man, Papa Dillo. I love it.
We've shown that photo before. There's you taking that photo.
Oh yeah,
That's
there it is.
hilarious.
It's actually happening.
She's Jen, and I'm Frank. Bye-bye.
Deuces.